Well, welcome to the webinar, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I have some really exciting things to talk to you about with regard to RBCs, nonprofit RBCs, wellness training, corporate wellness programs, all kinds of exciting things going on. But before we get into all of the reason why we're actually going to cover all those things and why tonight was my night and why it was fitting that some information started leaking tonight on Facebook with regard to an announcement that we were trying to hold off to Revolution, but just wasn't going to happen. Let's get into some other details with regard to things that are going on. First and foremost, we have the My Story campaign, as you know. The My Story campaign is allowing people to tell their story of transformation, of weight loss, of financial freedom, of time freedom, you name it. There's all kinds of stories out there, and we're just delighted with all the stories that we're getting. But please make sure that you're also doing your before and after pictures. Make sure you're also, if you want to, submit a video along with your My Story. We're taking all submissions. And remember, this is your chance to actually win cash every month. And we're also going to have, big cash winners at ID Revolution as well. So make sure to get your stories in. There's still time. Submit them at mystory@idlife.com. In addition to that, we're starting a new program where we're trying to take in new recipes. We've got Jenny Cherry's protein balls to all kinds of other neat things, shake ideas, shake recipes, all kinds of things that people are putting together. Haley Thompson in our office is the one that's collecting all of that information. So please make sure that you're submitting all of your recipes to haley.thompson@idlife.com so that we can collect those, and we're going to do something really special with that information. In addition to that, we have a lot of good events coming up this week, all the way from Saxe, Texas, to Michigan City, Indiana, to River Edge, New Jersey, Tyler, Texas, Westlake, Texas, Houston, Texas. Westlake, obviously, that's our CEO, Logan Stout, and our fitness ambassador, Larry North. If you know people in Westlake, make sure you get them to that event. But we have a lot of things, this road to revolution. We're just a few weeks away before we hit the big event on April 9th. So make sure that you're plugging people into these events, getting them there. We have a lot of great leaders that are doing these things, trying to push to revolution. In addition to that, our $199 associate promotion ends the end of this month. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Logan has talked about this multiple times. The fact is, it is going to end March 31st, 2015. But more importantly, when you sign somebody up at the $199 amount, make sure that you're also explaining to them that they get that one-time 40% discount. They can design their own bundle. Whatever product they want, this is their one chance to get 40% off their product. So make sure that you're explaining that to folks. You should also know that our customer advocates for people that sign up at $199 and for whatever reason didn't know are giving people that opportunity to take advantage of that. So we're doing our part. We're just asking that you also do your part. Make sure you don't forget to explain to them that chance to get that one-time 40% off discount on any bundle that they want to put together. In addition, we have the golf tournament for ID Revolution. Obviously, that's going to be on April the 9th. We have the Lunch and Learn starting at noon. The shotgun start for the golf tournament starts at 1:30. We have very little spots left available. Space is extremely limited, so you might want to hurry up. If you want to get involved in this, your chance to play golf with John Maxwell and Logan Stout, your chance to hear John during the Lunch and Learn. Even if you're not a golfer, you want to be part of this event. You want to take part. So, just buy a Lunch and Learn ticket if need be. If you're just a single person, sign up as a single and we'll find you a team as well. But there's very little spots left, so make sure you take advantage of that. We're playing at the Great Fossil Creek Golf Club. All of this to support Equip, which is John Maxwell's charity, spreading leadership around the world and within the schools of the United States. It's an unbelievable thing that John is trying to do, leaving his legacy, trying to build the next generation of leaders, starting out with our children. It's a great organization, a great group, and a very great cause that ID Life is well behind, because John is one of our key partners in what we have going on. In addition to that, at the golf tournament, there's going to be a silent auction. That silent auction is going to give you all kinds of opportunities to have a lot of really neat types of things that are available there to bid on. But the creme de la creme, if you will, is the Pebble Beach VIP experience. It's the one chance to play golf at Pebble Beach, the mecca of golf in the United States, with John Maxwell and Logan Stout. So make sure that you know that this is going to be there, and make sure that you take advantage of this once in a lifetime opportunity. Obviously, we have Revolution the 9th through the 11th. For anyone that joined January 1st to the present, your discounted rate is $39. Take advantage of that. Use the promotional code ID Spring 15, IDR Spring 15, right down there at the bottom of the screen. Take advantage of that promotion. Get signed up. Get your people to Revolution. This is where you explode your business. I can't even begin to tell you all of the things that we have to announce. I mean, the things that Logan has been able to put together over the last 4 or 5 months, the team has put together, the new products, the new marketing offerings. I mean, it's an endless supply of stuff that we've been able to accomplish in a very short period of time. And the list of speakers and announcements and everything else is just, it's mind-blowing. In fact, I want to stop because I may be the guy that actually reveals something, and Logan would never let me live it down if I did. So I'm going to stop there and just say, you want to be there. I mean, there's attendee-only promotions. There's all kinds of things that you just simply do not want to miss. You want to be a part of Revolution. In addition, you want a part of that VIP experience. You want that complimentary room upgrade. You want the invitation to meet and greet John Maxwell, VIP seating, the backstage pass. The way that you do that is not only do you bring a new associate into the business after January 1st, but you help that person rank advance. And here's the points that are available to you as you do that. Right now, these are our point leaders. It's a race to the end of this month to see who they are going to be, who's going to get that VIP experience. So, it's going to be close, but do everything you can. This is as of last week, and I know that there's people just on the very, very cusp of moving up this list. So do everything you can to continue to press, to get people advanced, to get people in the business. I mean, this is a great promotion, and you want this experience to have all of the opportunities that are available to you as part of winning that. In addition, we have our Next Gen Cold Hard Cash promotion that ended the end of February with regard to the top 10 point earners. But remember, you have to be present to win. Must be in attendance. These are the people that have a chance to be in that top 10. So if your name is on this list and you are not scheduled to be at ID Revolution, you very well may be leaving money on the table. So make sure if you're on this list that you are at ID Revolution. It is something that you've earned. So make sure that you take the opportunity to at least be present so you have that chance of winning if you actually ended up in that top 10. The VIP dinner, the invitations were sent out. The cocktail reception is going to be at 7 o'clock. The VIP dinner starts at 8. It is a black tie event for our top 100, including a lot of our celebrities and things like that. I won't tell you who is going to be in attendance. But this is something that we try to make it very special for the people that got into the top 100, and I want to share that list with you now. I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to, take pictures of this. This is the first page, but there is another page. I see all kinds of names on here, but the really thing that's encouraging to me is I see a lot of new names that I didn't see on the last top 100 list from the last Revolution. So, it's really neat to see the new people on the list. Here's your second page, all the way from Christy Shriver down to Wendy Ryan. It's amazing the leadership that we have in this company, and more importantly, the leaders that are growing in this company and the people that have done a lot of amazing things this particular period to get themselves into that top 100. We want to congratulate them at ID Life for all of their hard work and effort. Now, the reason why we're here tonight, we were going to talk about RBCs. We're going to talk about corporate wellness programs. We're going to talk about nonprofits. We're going to talk a little bit about ID Wellness. But I want to start off with one thing about these different programs, because I know a lot of people are excited about them, and I know they provide a lot of opportunity. We had one that we were running a test program on. And tonight on Facebook, it kind of leaked out that we have been working for months on working with Whole Foods to go through all of their scientific testing, all of their quality control testing, all of their formulation testing, everything under the sun. I mean, you name it. It is a long, hard, arduous process that ID Life went through. And what ended up happening was Whole Foods saw the benefit of what ID Life had to offer and wanted to put it on its shelves. So we started a test program in Little Rock, Arkansas, trying to, see how it was going to go. But tonight it was announced. And part of the reason why I'm here tonight is I was actually going to, tell everyone that this pilot program was happening. But unfortunately, I got scooped by some associates that happened to be walking through Whole Foods and took some pictures and couldn't believe that ID Life products were on the end cap. But the feedback we're getting from Whole Foods is extremely positive. The feedback that we have from our experience is extremely positive. And most importantly, we have a lot of associates who had introduced ID Life to folks in and around the Arkansas area that were somewhat suspect with regard to the products or the claims or the science, everything that they had been told. But then when they saw that, it was on the shelves at Whole Foods, those same associates are now being called back and said, okay, well, tell me more, because obviously if it's on the shelves of Whole Foods, then this must be quality ingredients and quality products, and I want to know more. So, it's doing exactly what we intended it to do, which is to edify the products, edify what it is we've said, justify the science that we put behind every product that we have. It's only been a positive thing, and we're very excited about what the future holds with that and all of our other RBC type programs. But first and foremost, let's talk about this for a second. This is not a lottery system, guys. I want to make sure everyone understands that. RBCs, wellness programs, the like, these are bonuses. These are add-ons. You still need to focus on your traditional business. It still needs to be focused on building the business just the way that Logan teaches and Daryl teaches and Scott teaches and everyone else teaches. Following the programs, following the quick start, doing all the things that you need to do. This is just an add-on, okay? This is just a bonus. So do not focus just on this or you'll be greatly disappointed. So let's talk about RBCs for a second, all right? We start out with very simply, what is a customer? And, you can see it's defined in your compensation plan. But why do I say that? Well, the real thing is retail business centers are not considered part of the definition or the term of customer. And I want to make sure everyone understands that, because that's very important when we talk about how, the revenue from it does not count as personal volume. So I want to make sure everyone understands. Now, there's also in your compensation plan, an explanation of what a retail business center is. Because, retail business centers actually get a 40% discount from retail pricing. Now, that's the largest discount ID Life offers, is that 40% discount. And the reason why we do that is because in addition to, signing a contract with ID Life, the retail business center is committing to $500 minimum monthly revenue to the company as a result of signing that agreement. So as a result, because of that guarantee of $500 a month in revenue, we're providing the largest discount that we have available, which is 40%. Now, in addition to that, you need to know that retail business centers will be considered a level 1 to you, and that purchases will be at 50% CV. Okay, so you need to make sure that you understand both of those things. Now, realize retail business centers cannot sign up associates. They cannot, add people. So, you need to know that they're a level 1 and level 1 only. Now, in addition to that, retail business center purchases will not be included as your personal volume. Remember, they're not a customer under the definition of customer. So as a result, they do not count in your personal volume. And then, of course, enrollment requires corporate approval. We have to guarantee that there is a storefront location. We have to know that the retail establishment is one that we actually want to associate and partner with. Now, we are, almost over 100 different retail outlets now that we have across this country so far that are retailing in their storefront ID Life products. I mean, so it's not like, we're trying to stop anyone from signing up an RBC program. What we want to do is make sure that RBC has been educated on what the program involves, what the requirements are, answer any questions with regard to the contract, make sure that they have all of the support and all of the information necessary so that they can be successful, and so that we are giving them exactly what they were promised and exactly what they expect. So that's why corporate needs to be involved, and that's why you should get Robbie Nicholson, who is in charge of the Retail Business Center program. Robbie is in our office. He's always there to help, always there to answer questions. robbie.nicholson@idlife.com. He can answer your questions. Be more than happy to help your prospect walk through their RBC program. Now, with regard to the RBCs, these are just some of the examples of RBCs that we have in place. We have doctor's office, chiropractic offices, health food stores, grocery store now with Whole Foods. You have gyms, you have beauty salons, nail salons, you name it. I mean, there's a number of different groups now that have put these programs in place. With regard to gyms, I mean, any number of CrossFit gyms to Gold's Gym in Tennessee, to you name it. I mean, there's been some really successful launches of the RBC program where people are getting an opportunity to be exposed to the quality products that ID Life has to offer in a retail environment so that they're literally plug and play. When they walk in the door, they're available to them. In addition, though, to the retail business center storefront where the products being readily available, we also create online experiences for those RBCs as well, where they have available to them the ability to sell ID Nutrition, the ability to have an online presence for the retail establishment, all of which that has no access to the opportunity, the business opportunity associated with it. So what do I mean by that? Well, with regard to marketing materials, we try to do everything that we possibly can to support the businesses. So like, for instance, in a gym environment, we've created these posters, and there's some other things that we've done as well. But these posters are available to our gyms. They come in very large, 30 by 20 type prints. They go on the wall. Just says exactly what people need to do and has that feel, that look and feel. Now we can customize them as well to have their logo on it with their website. There's all kinds of things that we do. In addition, we have flyers, with regard to sleep and ID Nutrition, and we have little business cards that have the QR code that sends them directly to the assessment link directly to their retail business center. Any number of things from a marketing standpoint, we have the ability to create to help support that RBC. Now, just the highlights that you need to make sure that you're aware of. There's a minimum 1-year contract. There's a $99 fee to get started. There's a $500 monthly minimum purchase requirement. The RBC earns that 40% retail commission. There's no PV on the sales, and there's a 50% CV. So those are the highlights of an RBC. Now, in addition to that, we have a nonprofit RBC program. A lot of people don't even know that this exists, so I want to make sure that I cover it as much as I can tonight. If you know a 501c3, a school district, a sports program, a church, anything where they have the ability to be considered kind of a charitable or have a fundraising effort, we have a 501c3 type program or our nonprofit RBC type program where we can help them support their fundraising efforts in a non-traditional sense. And what I mean by non-traditional is traditionally, and I know this because my doorbell rings all the time with people selling cookies and cakes and wrapping paper and flowers and you name it. There's always something new, and it seems like the same stuff I've been selling since I was a kid, which was a very, very long time ago. And what ends up happening is mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles and cousins end up buying all the stuff. The company, keeps, most of the money, and, the kids barely raise enough money to do the thing that they were trying to do, which is support their various entity program or whatever. At ID Life, what we do is we have this program in place so that they can create a mechanism where they can have a fundraising effort, provide people the highest quality products, the highest quality ingredients, and in exchange for that, what they get is the opportunity to have residual income for that program so that they can scholarship people, they can support the program, they can buy better equipment, they can, have building funds for their churches. They can do all these various things where they're providing the highest quality, best ingredient products available. And what they're doing is creating that residual income to help support the nonprofit. So know that that's available. The highlights of that program is there is a 1-year contract term. There is that $99 website fee that is included in there. There is no minimum monthly purchase requirement. There is no requirement there. We take that out. The reason we take that out is because this is a nonprofit. This is not something where they're trying to sell and make a profit on it. So we take that out. But what we also do is reduce that 40% that the traditional RBC gets down to a 30%. As a result of that no minimum monthly purchase. With the RBC guaranteeing $500, they get the 40% discount off the retail dollar value. But the nonprofit RBC gets a 30% discount in exchange for no monthly minimum. Again, it's no PV, and there's a 50% CV. So those are the highlights of that program. Now, we also have some resources available that you need to be aware of. We have a test website. It's rbc.idlife.com. That test website is available to you to use anytime you want. You can go on there. You can show somebody exactly what it looks like. They can see that there's no opportunity attached to it, that all it is the products and the transformation. They can go on there and do all those various things. They can see everything what a website would look like and what they would see. So make sure you're utilizing that. Again, rbc.idlife.com. Make sure they see that RBC ACCT on the left-hand side. You know that you're on that test account, and you can use that to show them what it looks like. If you have more interest in trying to learn more about the RBC program in your back office, there is this brochure that gives you a step-by-step guide of what the basics of the RBC program are, as well as how to get started. So that is available to you as well. So let's talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. As most of you know, I was in corporate America for 20 plus years. I had the wonderful opportunity to do a lot of really neat things. But one of the things that opportunity provided me was the ability to sit behind a desk for 12 hours, 15 hours a day, eat very badly, not get a lot of sleep, and as a result, ended up, getting to over 300 pounds at one time in my life. And it also allowed me the opportunity to see a lot of really bad corporate wellness programs, starting, in one of my very first jobs all the way up until I left, programs that were continuously telling me the same thing and telling everybody the same thing. Eat your fruits and vegetables, drink your water, walk this, and you'll do this. Unfortunately, what happens in this country as a result is you have 11% on average, 11% participation rate in the normal corporate wellness program. At ID Life, we're averaging just around 80%. And we're not satisfied with that. We're trying to increase that number. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we're doing differently tonight, why we're getting those types of participation rates. But really what it boils down to is we're working directly with the employees, directly with the companies, focusing on the exact things that the employees want to focus on. But most importantly, we're not giving generalized information. ID Life is all about the individually designed life. The information that we provide to these employees is individualized just to them, and that's why we're making a difference. So let's start out with the question that we get most often is which product do we focus on when we're going to talk to somebody about corporate wellness? Well, it's real simple. None of them. If you go in and you're going to talk to somebody about corporate wellness and you start talking about the ID Life products, the door will get slammed in your face and you will get thrown out. It's just simply that. That is just a fact. What you have to focus on is the information that we have available. What we say is at ID Life, our corporate wellness program can stand alone or it can plug and play with any existing program. And the reason why that is because it doesn't matter what the program is. It doesn't have the detailed, individualized information that we have available. And people want that information. They need that information. They actually act on that information when it's made available to them. And that's what's made this corporate wellness program so successful. Currently we have 36 million people that have been exposed to ID Life as a result of the corporate wellness program. 36 million plus people, and we're adding them all the time. You've probably seen trips that I've taken where we're done implementations. You've seen Facebook posts of people that have, implemented corporate wellness programs in various entities, cities, schools, churches, etc. all over the country. It is absolutely exploding because people are dying for this type of information. They want individualized information because they know the power of it. So do not focus on products. The purpose of the corporate wellness program is this, and simply this. It is to build the ID Life brand. That's what we're doing. We're trying to build brand awareness through our corporate wellness program, and it is working. There are hundreds of people that are being exposed to ID Life for the first time by their employer. And then when you as an associate go and offer the opportunity to these employees, not only have they already heard about it, But the products, the information, the resources, all of the data that we provide to those employees has already edified what it is we're about and provided a backbone to the fact that we are more than just a product-based company. We are, in fact, a health and wellness company. We care about people. We want people to get well. I mean, this country is sick, and specifically the United States is got an epidemic of mammoth proportion, and we're going to show you that here in just a second. So let's get into corporate wellness real quick. My story, I get asked all the time to show the pictures. I seem to never have them, because I always talk about I was 300 pounds. And part of the reason why I always show these when I'm doing corporate wellness implementations is that because I want the employees to know that I'm not talking at them, I'm talking with them. I was there. I know what it's like. I always say the trigger for me was seeing the picture of me and Goofy when I'm whiter than Goofy. And this isn't even the worst one. I actually have one that's actually worse than this. But it was the trigger. It was what started me on a path to try and learn what I needed to learn. From the time that picture was taken, it took me almost 6.5 years to lose it. Because I tried every diet, I tried every exercise, every fad, every pill, you name it, I tried it. And none of it worked. I mean, it was a roller coaster ride. And then when I learned that if I focused on the 6 inches between my ears rather than the 40 inches around my waist, I could actually make a marked long-term change in my life. That's when the light bulb clicked. And, that's kind of what ID Life's program is all about. It's all about education, providing that informed choice. One of the things you need to know about most corporate wellness programs, and the reason why the participation rate is so small, is most people just believe that, Big Brother or the corporation is using the information in the corporate wellness program for purposes of, advancement, hiring decisions, firing decisions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So as a result, people just don't participate. They're worried about their information. Well, at ID Life, all of our information is HIPAA protected. That means we treat your information just like a medical record. So, when you share that information, understand what HIPAA is, understand the power of HIPAA, understand the power of an employee understanding that we are not going to share their data or their information with anyone, because the whole intent and purpose that the employer has, and this is how we give it to the employees, is to get them healthy, because ultimately that's what benefits the employer. Not using the information for some ulterior purpose. It's to specifically target the employee, the individual needs of each employee specifically, to make that employee healthy so that they can be a more productive employee and a more productive citizen, which gives the employer exactly what it is they're looking for, which is a more productive workforce that is healthier and uses less medical benefit. So let's look at the traditional wellness program. One of the traditional programs that, you see all the time is a biometric test. That's blood testing, heart rate, blood pressure, things of that nature. You see the little, you have the click the box system where, did you, drink your water today, eat your vegetables, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, when you sign up, you get a water bottle, T-shirt, towel, you name it, you get something for your participation. That's a typical wellness program. The problem with them is this. The biometric test, absolutely critical. You see those abnormal values, those reds in the lows and the highs, absolutely critical. If you don't know you have a problem, that blood test is going to tell you. The problem that we have with blood tests is that word normal. Because, for instance, a guy with a testosterone level of 300 to 1,000 is considered normal if he's over 40. You show me one man that has 1,000, one man that has 300. I'll show you one man that'll run through a wall and another one that won't make it to the wall. It's just, they're two different people. But unfortunately, that word normal in our society means everything that I'm doing is just fine, so I can keep doing it. And it's a false sense of security with regard to how you're living your life. So as a result, the biggest problem with that biometric test is no one is there to explain to them what that normal category really is or what that really means. In addition, the problem with most of the check the box systems is, employees do just that. There's some carrot at the end if they check the box and they do these various tasks. So the employee will actually do the task necessary to check the box, but they won't actually do the task. What I mean by that is they will actually do the task of checking the box, saying that, yes, they did have 30 minutes of exercise. Yes, they did eat the fruits and vegetables. Yes, they did drink the water, but they didn't actually do the actual item itself. All they did is check that box. There's no accountability associated with it. So as a result, all you're doing is checking a box in order to get the carrot. And what ends up happening is companies spend thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't actually get a return on their investment as a result. Now, what I want you to do in your own mind, and I'm not trying to convict people here, I want you to look at this picture and I want you to think of some of the first things that come to your mind. And I know, a lot of people are going to, think, some really bad things here. And some people are going to pretend like they thought some really good things and they're really going to be thinking something bad. But what we need to do is we need to kind of change the way that we think. It's interesting that when you see this, you have that general perception, and no matter where your mind went, it should go to something like this. This is the obesity rate in all of the countries that are kind of industrialized, if you will. You notice that the U.S. has the highest obesity rate. Obesity, by the way, defined as a BMI over 30. Okay, so this is not the overweight population of the country. I wish it was only 30, 40% in the United States. No, this is the obesity rate. This is the BMI over 30, 34% in the U.S. Last year Mexico had taken this away from us. This year, obviously, we took it back. You can kind of see the different percentages. The lowest, by the way, Japan at 11%. It is amazing to me that this continues to grow. But have we ever really looked at what the potential issue is, what the potential problem is, what the root cause? So what we're trying to do through ID Life is actually educate people that, yes, you may have seen that chair picture and had a thought, but what if it's not that person's fault? What if it has something to do with our food supply? So what if in fact there was a reason? What if there was some other reason? Well, let's look at some of the stats first. In 1994, 58% of Americans were overweight. 58%. That's high. But today it's 69%. And when you look at the actual demographic data, you can see how big of a problem it really is. And a lot of these other numbers are scary, but the one that really hits home is that in 1994, 10% of children were overweight. But today, 32% of American children are overweight. That's 32%. That's just unacceptable. And we've got to do something to change it. So what if we change the way we think, though? What if instead of blaming people, and you hear that wonderful, you have the hand to mouth disease, which means you just eat too much. You have all these, excuses that people have with regard to why people are overweight. But what if it just boils down to just a simple lack of information? Let's look at one of the culprits. And this is just one of the things that we do at ID Life as part of the corporate wellness program is we provide some education to folks. So let's look at sugar, for instance. Sugar is an epidemic in this country. If you look at any nutritional fact label, you'll notice one thing. There is no recommended daily value for sugars. Now, why is that? Well, in 1994, through some lobbying efforts, that was taken off the label. But part of the reason is because people were going to get a chance to see what the true effect of sugar is. See, 4 grams of sugar is a teaspoon. And 17% of calories today, 17% of calories come from sugar in the American diet. That's a lot. Especially when you look at the fact that the American Heart Association says that women should consume 6 teaspoons of sugar a day and men 9. Ladies, that's 1 candy bar and you're done. A lot of people don't realize that ketchup actually contains sugar. Yes, they actually have calories in ketchup. It is not just a condiment. It is actually something that adds to your caloric intake for the day. And then, of course, a Coke is just absolutely ridiculous with regard to its caloric value. Yeah, in fact, one of the things that I did when I went into a school not too long ago to talk about this particular issue is I had a glass of water and I actually poured out that many teaspoons of sugar and said, anyone interested in trying to drink this? And then I showed them the 20-ounce Coke and said, but you drink this every single day. And it was an eye-opening experience for a lot of those kids who had never had the opportunity to see what, in fact, sugar was and how much was actually in it. In fact, one of the things I challenge people is I said, go look at something that has light or reduced fat or some other aspect of food that you normally try to do the right thing by trying to go with one of those products, and turn it over and compare it to the original formula. And what you're going to find out is, yes, they've taken out fat, or they've taken out carbohydrates, or they've taken out something, but what they've added back in is sugar. They've added more sugar to it in order so that it would taste good, so that you will actually eat it. So pay attention to that. That's just one of the things that we do. Here's an example, or some examples of some of the products that you have, and the sugar content that you are consuming with regard to those products. It's amazing what they have in them and how much they have in them. Now, you need a basic vocabulary if you're going to try to do anything with regard to corporate wellness. You're going to need to know some of these terms. All of these terms are available in your back office along with these definitions. So I'm going to go through them kind of quickly tonight, but you need to take the time to learn what absenteeism is. You need to understand what the Affordable Care Act is, and the tax benefits that it has available to folks that want to do it. Now, we get that question a lot. How much, of the $1,620 can I write off? Well, what we tell everyone every time is you need to get with your, plan administrator, and your plan administrator will look at your various plans, whether or not it's a bronze, gold, or platinum plan under the ACA, determine, your employee types and other benefits that you provide, and be able to explain to you how much of a tax break you can write off as a result of implementing a corporate wellness program within your corporate environment. So, we tell everyone that, those tax advantages are there. In fact, the Affordable Care Act was the very first piece of federal legislation that actually had a preventative care mechanism in it, as opposed to a reactive care mechanism in it, meaning that there actually is tax incentives for people to do the things necessary to try and get healthy before going to the doctor, not tax incentives for paying for people that have to go to the doctor, and writing off those expenses for the insurance and the like. So, it's an interesting piece of legislation. There's a lot of great things in there for purposes of corporate wellness. Biometric testing we've spoken about. Census data, is kind of the overall employee information with regard to the collective, or the consensus, if you will, of all of the information combined. Corporate wellness program kind of speaks for itself. The ID assessment, you need to learn what that is. You need to learn what the ID report is. That's that little 6 to 16 page report about each individual, right before the recommendation. Unbelievable value that's in that program, that's in that information. In addition to that, you have presenteeism, which is a key term. Those are the people that are there that aren't there. That's the 3 o'clock in the afternoon when productivity levels dropped to almost nothing. Return on investment. You need to understand that's why companies do what they do. That's why they're getting involved in corporate wellness. They want a return on the investment. The dollars that they're spending, they want to make sure that they're getting a return in exchange for what it is they're doing. Then, of course, you have the self-insured. That's the model that most companies are moving to. They are moving to a self-insured model where they are taking on the risk. So why do corporations have wellness programs? Real simply, they want to reduce their healthcare costs. Too many people are using the healthcare benefit, causing costs to skyrocket. Then you add to that 40 to 45 million new people coming into the healthcare system, and it is a system that is on life support. But because companies have gone into a self-insured model, this is costing them a lot of money. The traditional corporate wellness program focuses just on the individual employees. Well, if you look at the statistics, the individual employees only represent 40% of the actual healthcare cost for the company. 60% of those costs come from the beneficiaries and the spouses that the corporate wellness program doesn't even touch. And then you add to that an 11% participation rate on national average, 11% of the 40%. I mean, it's almost nobody, but yet companies are spending tens of thousands of dollars. The ID Life Corporate Wellness Program affects everybody. We make that information available to anyone and everyone. In fact, one of the things that we say is you can share the corporate wellness program of a company that ID Life is a part of with your aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, mother. Yes, I've said that a few times, so it comes out easy. But the idea behind it is anyone you care about, anyone that you love, anyone that you want to share the information with, you have the ability to do that, and it will tie back to the wellness program of that company. Now, Here's some pretty interesting statistics that you may or may not be aware of. And this is a national average. For every 100 employees, 69 are overweight, 36 are obese, 12 have diabetes, 3 don't even know it, 33 have high blood pressure. I mean, you can see these stats. I mean, it's unbelievable. But this is the American employee population. This is it. This is why we have the epidemic that we have in this country. This is why we need a corporate wellness program. But this is a national average of 100 employees. Um, Return on investment. It is, the statistics are very clear that there is a return on investment. If a company focuses on a corporate wellness program that incorporates biometric testing along with education, along with a fitness and nutrition component being key, you can get up to $6 back for every dollar you spend in a corporate wellness program. Last year alone, you could have saved 45 million sick days in this country. 45 million sick days just simply with proper nutrition, according to the CDC. It's amazing what can be done with just a simple preventative act on the part of a company. Like I said, most companies are focused on having a wellness program because they want to reduce their healthcare costs, but this is the real problem. Our country is just not healthy, and the presenteeism issue in this country is what's really costing companies money. The absenteeism, people calling in sick, that's $73 billion last year to the U.S. economy, $73 billion. But they say presenteeism is costing companies twice that much. That's $150 billion that the U.S. economy is losing because people simply cannot perform in the afternoon because they lack focus, they don't have any energy, they're exhausted, they're tired, or they're simply just not healthy. That's what we need to be focused on. So, what are the typical types of wellness programs? Well, there's 3. There's an education program, there's education with biometric screening, which is the most common. And then there's the rarity, those ones that really get that return on investment. That's the education with biometric fitness and nutrition. So know those are the typical programs. Know that ID Life can incorporate a standalone program, or ID Life can plug into any one of these programs that a company may already have in place. So what makes us different? Real simply, we focus on the individual. We don't treat everyone the same. We provide detailed, individualized information, and it all starts right here, the ID assessment. We send people to the assessment. They have the ability to fill out the HIPAA-compliant information, and then we start asking them the various questions, about their personal, their dietary, their lifestyle, their physical conditions, the medications, all of that information, ultimately to get to this. Now, remember earlier I talked about how, the recommendation is to the nutraceuticals, and that's there. But the real power for corporate wellness is that report. 6 to 16 pages of information just about the individual that provides them small incremental changes that they can make that can move that needle. I call it the gas tank, from empty to full. It moves it from where it is to where they want it to be. And the most important thing about that information is when you really look at it, it's giving them things that they can do, small changes that they can make from a health perspective, not a single one of which is recommending an ID Life product. What it's doing is saying, hey, these are things that you can do separate and apart from ID Life to improve your overall health. What other company does that? And of course, as you make those changes, guess what? You can actually move the needle and you get congratulated. And the whole idea is focused on small incremental changes, small things, one little thing at a time, so that you can make things better. So here's the key points. The ID assessment can plug into any program. Or it can stand alone. It's unique and individualized to each employee. Complements any wellness program, any existing wellness program, and maximizes the company's return on investment. Multiple studies to support all of the information provided. Over 7,500 independent third-party peer-reviewed articles to support the data and the information provided. And then, of course, the whole idea here is we're going to help reduce that census data so that we can help minimize the increase, or in fact lower the healthcare cost to the overall company. So let's talk about ID Wellness real quick. It's available. Typically, it's $4.99 per employee. But on the corporate wellness program, we offer it to corporate wellness program participants at $2.99 per person. And that's not per family, that's per person. So $2.99 per person that is on the corporate wellness program, obviously discounted from the typical $4.99 per person cost. So what does ID Wellness have to offer? Everything. It has, the ability to set up profiles, to have the 3D imaging, to you name it. It has everything that you would ever want with regard to being able to set up a program that takes all the guesswork out, from a nutritional program to a workout program to goal setting to calorie tracking. I mean, it gives you your starting point all under a HIPAA compliant system, telling you exactly the measurements that you're going to take. I mean, it measures you all the way from the neck down to your ankles. I mean, it gives you everything, gives you your body fat percentages, tells you the dates on which you're going to hit your goals. I mean, it has everything imaginable. I do want to point out one thing. When Logan shows us, he always says that that's me, that's my particular avatar. I will tell you, back when I was 300 something pounds, that avatar is not even close to what I actually look like. But that is not me. As you can see, that was actually one of our test sites. So I can dispel that myth real quick, because that's one that's been running rampant across the country. When you're setting up your programs, obviously you get to pick your nutritional program, you get to pick your workout program, whatever fits you. You're going to get the menu. It's going to make a recommendation, or you can modify it to say exactly what you ate. You can hit the prepare button and it'll tell you exactly how to prepare it. It'll tell you how long, how many calories. It'll tell you the micronutrient percentages of each one. I mean, it gives you the entire system. You can say what your preferences are. I mean, a lot of people, Chinese food, that means if you really like it, the only way you know how to get it is in a bag through a window in your car, because you don't know how to make it at home. Well, this system can actually teach you how to make Chinese food at home for yourself in a healthy way. More importantly, if you have a favorite recipe and the only way you know how to make it is because that's the way grandma taught you how, and it may not be the healthiest, you can take that recipe, whatever it is. You can look in ID Wellness. There's over 27,000 recipes in there. Find a recipe for that same thing and probably find a way to make it a little bit healthier, just simply by taking the time to look at it and look at that prepare sheet and showing exactly how to do it. Want to know what to buy that week? There's a grocery list. You hit that, it automatically gives you this printout where you can go to the grocery store, buy exactly what you need so that you can meet your meals for that day. The workout programs are real simple. You hit the start button and it tells you exactly what to do. There's videos of everything so that you know exactly how to do them. Once you check it, it's giving you the amount of rest in between each one. It's giving you the entire program. This particular one, it's going to take 25 minutes according to the duration. When you look right here, the calories burned are going to be 211 based upon your biometrics that you've entered into the system. It's a very simple system to follow, telling you exactly what to do, how to do it. And then of course you have your own little personal trainer videos that are showing you exactly how to do things the right way. It's also going to talk about your body position, your movement and technique, the primary muscles worked, as well as any trainer tips that may be involved. And then, of course, we're also going to give you the calculators in there that are going to calculate body mass index because you need to know that for purposes of insurance. But more importantly, it also your base metabolic rate, because that tells you how much you're going to burn if you don't move. If all you do is wake up, breathe, and go back to sleep, that's how much you're going to burn that day. And if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to need to know that BMR number so that you can calculate, because obviously it's 3,500 calories is a pound. So if you want to lose a pound that week, you have to have a calorie deficit of 3,500. So if you don't want to move, you don't want to get active, then you have to know what your BMR is. If you do want to get active, then obviously you're going to increase your BMR, which will increase the amount that you can eat to still lose weight. So that's why we include those calculators in there. The available resources to you, there's quite a few. We have the corporate wellness website that is available to you. This is a test account. You can go to cw.idlife.com and you can see a test site so that a corporate wellness program can see exactly what their site's going to look like. There's no opportunity or anything else attached to it. It's a simple, here it is, and you can plug right into it. Again, there it is. Make sure it does say the corporate wellness testing account. It's cw.idlife.com. In addition, in your back office, you have this flyer. This flyer is a step-by-step guide of exactly how to get started, how to get connected, how to set up with corporate the next phase once you have somebody that's interested. It has all the information you'd ever need on how to get a corporate wellness program moving forward. In addition to that, we have a human resources brochure that's available. That brochure, as you can see, I mean, this is just a quick screenshot, has all kinds of information on it, not all of which is even about ID Life. I mean, we have legal compliance of corporate wellness programs. We have, the different types of programs. We have the Affordable Care Act. We have the carrot stick information. We have wellness audits that link out to public government initiatives and resources available to HR professionals. This is an extremely powerful resource that we've made available to human resources professionals so that they can use this either with ID Life or separate and apart from ID Life. In addition, every time we do a corporate wellness implementation, we create an employee handbook. That employee handbook has all kinds of information available to the employee, including the company goals. Like, this one was, weight loss, and we talk about sugar, the negative side effects, how to combat it, give them some other information about sugar. There's some really interesting things that are in there. We talk about the ID report, how to use it. We talk about ID nutrition. Yes, it's soft. It's in there because they're going to see it as part of that. We want to explain to them what it is. We're also going to explain to them the ID wellness application. It's a whole host of information, step-by-step guide. So, it's a very detailed system. And in addition to that, we set up a calendar for the company. So every month we're doing some type of initiative for the company that's going to be focused on a specific thing for each individual month. May it be a charity walk, may it be American Heart Association month, you name it. We work with the company and their wellness committee and their wellness ambassador to establish what the calendar of events is for the company so that they are successful and they're continuously pushing from event to event, should sound familiar, on a monthly basis, trying to keep the people engaged and keep people motivated. Marketing materials available. We have all kinds. We have products, we have postcards, we have business cards, you name it. There's all kinds of things that we can create. And this is just some examples of things that we've created already for companies that are part of our wellness program. So if you have somebody that's interested or you want more information, this is what you do. It's corporate wellness at idlife.com. In the subject line, wellness program with the company name. And in the body, the name, the phone number, the good dates and times to call, and who invited them to the webinar. So, if it's a professional that just happened to find it, we want to know who, told you about ID Life. But more importantly, if you're bringing an opportunity, we want to know who you are so that, you're getting the proper credit for bringing in that corporate wellness program. So recap real quick. Here it is. Retail business centers, nonprofits, wellness programs, they're 1-year contracts, $99 enrollment fee across the board. The retail business center has that $500 minimum monthly purchase. There is no purchase requirement on wellness programs. All of them no PV, 50% CV, and then of course the commission discounts. There's a company commission possible on a wellness program, though we recommend that the company provide the entire 30% discount to their employees as part of the wellness program so that they can actually get that return on investment, which is the main focus and purpose of the wellness program to begin with. Next week, we have ID Revolution webinar where they're going to talk about where Scott and Sarah and Daryl are going to talk about all of the things that you can expect to see at IDR. You're going to want to be on that webinar. That's next Sunday night at 8 o'clock. You have our Director of Field Leadership, our Vice President of Field Development, and Director of Events who are going to be there to kind of give you some insight, give you kind of a breakdown of the day-by-day type of events that are going to be going on. And who knows, they might actually reveal a few things that they shouldn't without Logan and I are on that call. So make sure that you tune in and that you register for next Sunday night's webinar. And again, if you have not registered for Revolution, get out there and do so. Use that promo code IDR Spring 15 to get that $39 rate. So get out there, get registered. Again, thanks for being on the call tonight. I really do appreciate everyone's attendance. I hope this information was informative. There's a lot more information that's in your back office that's available for you with regard to everything that is corporate wellness, that is retail business center, and that's nonprofit. And until next time, we look forward to seeing you at Revolution, if not before. Thanks.